The Guardian Sphinxes of Alacahöyük. Long ago, in the heart of Anatolia, where the golden fields stretched beneath the endless sky, stood the ancient city of Alacahöyük. This was a place of kings and gods, where the whispers of the past still lingered in the wind. Among its many wonders, none were as mysterious or as powerful as the Guardian Sphinxes, majestic stone creatures that watched over the city with silent, eternal vigilance. The people of Alacahöyük believed these sphinxes were not mere statues but living protectors, gifted to them by the gods. Carved from dark stone, they stood at the great gates of the city, their lion bodies coiled with strength, their human faces filled with wisdom. Their wings, though made of stone, seemed ready to spread and carry them into the heavens. The sphinxes were said to hold the secrets of the universe, and only the pure of heart could hear their whispers. The story of the Guardian Sphinxes began in the time of King Tuthaliya, a ruler both wise and fearless. His kingdom was rich, his people happy, but dark forces stirred beyond the mountains. Raiders from distant lands eyed Alacahöyük's wealth, and whispers of war grew louder with each passing moon. The king sought counsel from the high priestess, a woman named Arinniti, who spoke with the gods. One night, as the stars burned brightly above the temple, Arinniti entered a deep trance. The gods spoke to her in visions. They told her that Alacahöyük needed protectors, beings of stone and spirit, fierce enough to frighten enemies, wise enough to guide the lost. The gods themselves would breathe life into the sphinxes, but only if the people proved worthy. The next morning, Arinniti went to King Tuthaliya and told him of the vision. Without hesitation, the king ordered the finest sculptors in the land to carve 2 great sphinxes from the sacred black stone of the northern quarries. The people worked day and night, shaping the stone with prayers on their lips. When the sphinxes were finished, they were placed at the city's main gate, their eyes facing the rising sun. That night, under a sky filled with shooting stars, the high priestess led a great ceremony. The people gathered, offering gifts of grain, honey, and incense to the gods. Arinniti chanted the ancient words, and as the final prayer left her lips, a great wind swept through the city. The earth trembled, and for a moment the sphinx's stone eyes gleamed with golden light. The gods had answered. From that day on, the sphinxes stood as silent sentinels. No enemy dared to attack Alacahöyük, for strange tales spread among the raiders. Some claimed to see the sphinxes move at night, their wings casting shadows under the moon. Others swore they heard a deep, rumbling growl when they approached the gates. The city remained safe, its people living in peace under the watchful gaze of their stone guardians. But the sphinxes were more than just protectors. They were also keepers of wisdom. The priests of Alacahöyük believed that the sphinxes held answers to life's greatest mysteries. Once every year, during the festival of the equinox, the bravest of souls would approach the sphinxes and ask a single question. If their heart was pure, the wind would carry the sphinx answer to them in a whisper. One such seeker was a young girl named Laleh. She was not a princess or a priestess, but a simple farmer's daughter with a curious mind. Laleh had always felt drawn to the sphinxes, dreaming of their secrets. On the day of the festival, she stepped forward, her hands trembling. The crowd watched in silence as she stood before the great stone creatures and asked, "What is the greatest treasure a person can possess?" The wind stirred, rustling the leaves of the nearby trees. Then, soft as a sigh, Laleh heard the answer. "Knowledge, for it cannot be stolen, and it grows brighter when shared." From that day on, Laleh devoted herself to learning, and in time she became a great scholar, teaching others the wisdom she had gained. As centuries passed, Alacahöyük faded into history. The walls crumbled, the temples fell, but the sphinxes remained, standing tall even as the earth slowly claimed them. Today they rest in the ruins, their secrets half buried in the dust. Yet those who visit say that on quiet nights, when the wind blows just right, the old stones still whisper. Perhaps the Guardian Sphinxes of Alacahöyük still watch over the land, waiting for the day when their wisdom will be needed once more. Or perhaps they are simply monuments to a time when gods walked among men, and magic lived in the stones. Either way, their legend endures, a testament to the power of faith, courage, and the mysteries of the ancient world. And so the story of the Guardian Sphinxes remains, carved not just in stone, but in the hearts of those who still listen to the echoes of the past.